So dear friends, we start the unit 4, that is the control chart for attributes. In the previous session we discussed the control chart for variables, that is the X bar and R chart or X bar and a sigma charts. And these charts are applicable when the quality characteristics of a product produced in a firm are measurable. That means that have some number with some units. So these charts are generally, or the X bar and R chart are generally used where the dimensions or the quality characteristics for a certain operations are measurables. And with the help of those charts or during the analysis of those charts, if there are some deviation occurs, then during performing those operations we can rectify the things and try to make the components or try to perform that particular operations in a right directions. So we can say that the X bar and R charts are the powerful device for the diagnosis of the quality problems and means, or other words we can say the ways of routine detection problems. These charts have limitations. That means it can only used when the quality characteristics to be measured in number with some units. But some of the quality characteristics only be measured by only attributes, like the taste of a sauce, taste of a cold drinks. During whitewashing, we have to analyze the color. There are so many defects, and that cannot be measurables. Aesthetics, if we see any product, how it looks, that cannot be measured in dimensions or by so some of the quality characteristics can be classified during inspections, either the conforming or a non-conforming qualities. That, or in other words we can say, in some situations either we accept the product or reject the products. And the another limitation of the X bar and R charts are, for a particular products there are 50 dimensions or the 50 quality characteristics that is required. So for every quality characteristics, measurable quality characteristics, we have to prepare the separate charts. That is not economical as well as the cost effective also. So these are some limitations for the X bar and R charts, or in other words we can say the control chart for the variables, because for every variables we need the separate charts. Whereas in the control charts for attributes, these are applicable for those quality characteristics that cannot be measured, or in other words we can say at the final stage we can say either the product is accepted or rejected. So in this session we discuss the P and NP charts. The many quality characteristics that cannot be conveniently measured numerically. So in such cases it is usually classified as conforming or non-conforming. That means when we are going to inspect any product, sometimes either we confirm the quality characteristics or non-confirm the quality. So there are only two options, whether we confirm the quality characteristics or non-confirm. In other words we can say that either the product is defective or a non-defective, or in other words we can say either the product is accepted or not accepted. So some of the examples we are taken here. The number of non-functional semiconductor chips, number of errors or made mistakes when we apply for a loan applications, then the inspector will check our loan applications and find how many mistakes we are made during filling the application forms. And the another example is the whitewashing of a buildings. So when we inspect the whitewash, then we found that in some of the areas on a particular walls, the color are not uniforms. So we have to point out the various spots where the color is not uniform. So these are the some quality characteristics that we can measure, but it cannot be measured numerically. So in such situations we are using the control charts that is named as attributes. So here we discuss the various attribute charts. The first one is the fraction of non-conforming or defective product produced by the manufacturing process. This type of chart popularly named as a P chart. The another chart is the control chart for non-conformities. That means in this case we just count how many number of products are non-conforming the desired characteristics. That is called the C chart. So the basic difference between P and C is, in the P charts we calculate the proportion from a quantity produced during a particular period, whereas in this case we just simply count the number of non-accepted products. And the third one is the control chart for non-conformities per unit. That means in a particular unit. And the best suited example which we discussed just now, the whitewashing in a buildings. So when we inspect each and every rooms, then we found how many places the color are not uniforms. So in a particular in a U charts, the product is considered as a unit and we have to count it the number of non-conformities. So we start from the control chart for fraction non-conforming. That means here we have to calculate the fraction of non-conforming in a population. So the fraction non-conforming is defined as the ratio of conforming items to the total number of items in that populations. So the item may have the several quality characteristics measured simultaneously by the inspectors. A person who is authorized to inspect those products, so he or she can measure the several quality characteristics simultaneously, and its responsibility is he can judge whether this product conform or non-conforms. So if the item does not conform to the standard on one or more characteristics, it is classified as non-conforming. So occasionally the percentage non-conforming is used. So for preparing the P charts, we use the binomial distributions, and for binomial distributions the quality characteristics follows that all trials are independent. That means whenever we selected the samples, it's independent. Each outcome is either success or a failure. The probability of success of any trial, if it is indicated by a small p, then probability of failure is 1 minus p. It's obvious. If the successful probability is p, then obviously the 1 minus p is the failure. So the probability of success is a constant. So suppose the production process is operating in a stable manner, the probability that any unit will not confirm the specification, say it's P, then success unit produced are independent. So if the random sample of n unit of product is selected, that means we are producing the product in a lot and we have to select a n number units, that is a sample size, and we inspect this n number of units whether they confirm the quality characteristics or not. So if we say the D number is the non-conforming items, then we have to calculate the probability by this formula, and we also calculate the variance of the random variables are the NP or NP 1 minus P, and the fraction of non-conforming, that is a P cap, that is equal to the D by N. So the fraction non-conforming control charts, standard given here, the upper control limit is the P plus 3 square root of P 1 minus P over N, and the central line, when we draw the chart, this is the upper control limit, and with this value we draw the central line, and this is the lower control limit, that is P minus 3 square root of P 1 minus P over N. So depending upon the value of P and the sample size, sometimes when we calculate the lower control limit, the value may comes in negative. So whenever the negative value comes, then we assume that the lower control limit is equal to 0. So the actual operation of this chart would consist of taking subsequent same of n units and computing the sample fractions non-conforming, that is a P cap, and plotting the statistics of the P cap on P charts. So the value of P we mark on the P charts. So as long as the P remains within the control limit and the sequence of plotted points does not exhibit any systematic random patterns, we conclude that the process is in control at level P. That means whatever the non-conformities we, before to draw the control charts, we assume that if the non-conformities are up to this number, then we can say that the process is in control. And if any point plotted outside these control limits or a non-random pattern in the plotted point is observed, then we can say that the process fraction non-conforming has most likely shifted to a new level and the process is out of controls. All these things we can understand when we discuss one numerical problems later on. Second conditions, when the process fractions non-conforming P is not known, then it must be estimated from the observed data. That we also understand when we are discussing a numerical problems. So in the usual practice is to be selected the m preliminary sample each of size n. That means during producing a product in a various shifts, then we have to decide the interval and we collect the sample, and every time the sample size is constant. So for example, during a day we are collecting the m samples, and every time the sample size are a constant value, that is n. So in general rule, m should be at least 20 or 25, and if there are non-conforming unit in sample I, we compute the fraction non-conforming in sample I with this formula. So it is for a particular sample when we calculate the fraction defective, the ratio or the proportions. That means in the ith sample, these are the number of defective in ith sample, and this is the sample size. So the sample size is constant, and that means the Pi is equal to Di by n. So Di is the number of defective in ith sample. So the I may be 1, 2, 3 or m, because we are collecting the m number of samples. So the average of these individual sample fractions non-conforming is the P bar. With this formula we have to calculate the average value, and here Di by n is nothing, it is the fraction of the non-defective parts. So the P bar is very simple, it is the P cap I over m. So in statistics, the P bar estimate the unknown fractions, non-conforming P. So the central line and the control limits of the control charts computed as the fraction non-conforming control chart, no standard givens, then the upper control limit is calculated by the P bar, which we calculated in the previous slides, plus 3 square root of P bar 1 minus P bar over n, and this is the central line, that is a P bar, and then we calculate the lower control limit, that is P bar minus 3 square root of P bar 1 minus P over n. So any point that exceeds the trial control limits should be investigated. So whenever we draw the proportion of the fraction defective on a P charts, and if any value crosses the upper control limit or a lower control limits, then we have to investigate why a particular point comes outside the control limits. So if any assignable causes find out for these points, then it should be discarded and the new trial control limit is determined. Now